starring Barbara Billingsley.
If you watch TV shows from the 1950s, you get a fairly black and white picture of the roles men and women should play in a family.
Well, whenever we cook inside, Mom always does the cooking. But whenever we cook outside, you always do it. How come?
Well, it's sort of traditional, I guess. You know, they say a woman's place is in the home, and I suppose as long as she's in the home, she might as well be in the kitchen.
This is what some people call traditional gender roles, with a woman as the homemaker and a man as the breadwinner. But it's something that society has long since left behind. Right?
I feel like we've got much more diversity now in Gen Z. I just think it wouldn't really work in our society anymore. Yeah.
I think like generation like boomers then maybe more likely to have more gender roles embedded in their like lifestyle, I guess.
Personally, I think like older generations like maybe boomers, because like that's what they grew around.
But I also think it's passed down to our parents, so like millennials.
Yeah, kind of what they've been saying, like boomers, because I feel like now we like to challenge stereotypes and just go against gender roles.
Well, it turns out it's actually Gen Z that's most likely to want a family that looks like this. The King's College Global Institute for Women's Leadership has released a study of more than 23,000 people from 29 countries, including Australia. It found that of all the generations from baby boomers to Gen Z, it's Gen Z that hold the strongest traditional beliefs when it comes to gender roles, with 31% of men and 18% of women believing that a wife should always obey her husband, and 33% of men and 19% of women saying a husband should have the final word on important decisions in the home. These attitudes towards women extend beyond just home life. The study also asked about things like equality in society. 61% of Gen Z men and 51% of Gen Z women say they feel enough has already been done for gender equality, with 57% of men and 38% of women saying they feel men are now discriminated against.
That shocks me a lot, actually.
Yeah, that is really surprising.
It's definitely disappointing, but it also isn't very surprising. Thinking about it now, I feel like lots of the jokes, I think that's where it comes from, the jokes in primary school and leading up to high school, and then that belief just like consolidating in your head. I guess it's surprising, but like, I get where it's coming from, yeah.
It's not surprising. It's sad, but it's not surprising.
This is Josh. He's a facilitator at Man Cave, which is an organisation tackling issues like gender stereotypes in schools. He says social media, particularly things like Manosphere content, which we've seen in the spotlight a bit recently.
Do you consider yourself a misogynist?
I love women and I actually understand them.
Is helping to bring back what were once seen as outdated gender norms.
A lot of those men, a lot of those influencers hold traditional gender roles.
Simply cannot tolerate disrespect from a woman, because whatever you tolerate, you allow. Whatever you allow continues, and whatever continues becomes the standard.
The whole narrative of echo chambers and what algorithms do and send us into this little chute where we're just hearing all these people who agree with each other.
Women actually don't want equal treatment. They couldn't handle it if they got it, quite a number of them.
And are sort of saying things that maybe have whispers of truth or elements of truth to it.
The elites control our world. They want all of you guys to be slaves.
But there's no one there to sort of present another opinion, or the only alternative opinions you see are the ones where, you know, the person you agree with then like debunks or smashes or slams them in a debate or whatever it is.
The reason why women are useless is because you guys don't really have to be useless. Sorry, useful.
Yeah. I just fundamentally think that a teenage boy's definition of feminism is very different to the intended definition of feminism. Like that's just so clear. So we're actually talking about almost two completely different things, and that I would say is a result of a lack of ability for these two definitions to have conversations with each other, and that just happens from the way the algorithms work and the lack of time that we're spending actually in conversation with others who may hold different views, basically.
And it's not just men pushing this view on social media.
Do most women have a cookbook? Do most women really know how to cater to a man? No. But when you're trying to sell a car, if you're trying to get married, right? And please, I'm not saying that women are cars, it's just an analogy. But if you're trying to sell a car, you have to study the buyer and figure out what the buyers want.
There are a lot of popular influencers that identify as trad wives or traditional wives and create content that's all about glamorizing traditional domestic lifestyles.
I love to cook and clean, just don't tell the feminists. I love to do it, and I love to do it for a man, there's just something, I don't know, there's something within me as a woman. Maybe it's almost turning 25 that got me thinking, like, this cooking and cleaning thing isn't bad. Like, I just don't understand why women want it to work.
I think it's so disappointing that that's targeted towards young girls who still don't even know what they want to do when they're older. And I'm a firm believer that, like, we should all find our purpose. If your purpose is like raising a kid, that's great. But I also think that we should also pursue other things outside of just growing a family. As a woman ourselves, like, we're all individuals. We all need things outside of family and life.
It is a thing, like, a lot of people dream about, like, having a baby and having a family at home. But then also, if it's impacting some people to think, like, maybe I should be choosing this over my long dream that I've had since a kid.
Yeah, they paint it as something you want, but, like, that's not all women are down to. Like, you want a career and everything, so yeah.
But Josh says it's influencing the view of women and men.
I know exactly what I want from my wife. Someone that's submissive. Someone that's not going to say, would you be a house husband? I don't know. She brings, like, this dominance thing to the relationship. And I want to be the one essentially calling the shots.
The whole thing, the whole narrative of, oh, this is what women want, I guess. That, like, women want to be in this trad wife role, which feminism is about choice, and one of those choices is a traditional role, and great. I wonder how much, again, kind of exactly the same thing that's happening with the Manosphere influences. It's like these trad wife influences, they don't actually care about what the best expression of being a woman is. They care about making money. And so whatever it is that's going to get them more money, that's the one they're going to present.
The effects that gendered content have on young people can be extreme. A recent study from the University of Melbourne surveyed more than 2,300 adults and 1,100 young people aged 13 to 17 and found that support for the use of violence to resist feminism was highest amongst adolescent boys, followed closely by adolescent girls. And that around 40% of boys aged 13 to 17 agreed that women lie about domestic and sexual violence, partly from social media exposure.
There's some shock, there's some sadness. I feel so convicted that something's being missed as well. And by missed, I mean a boy's missing kind of the impact of what they're saying. I think a lot of boys nowadays, from the same influences, associate feminism with the thing that is making life challenging for them.
Feminism hasn't just hurt women, it's also hurt men, because a lot of guys don't feel the need to rise up to their duties and be a protector or provider.
Feminism, just treating women how they should be treated, you know? Like, just like anyone else. Everyone should have the respect that they're given at birth.
Feminism and equality to me is everyone having equal rights, being able to do the same things, so it's not how whoever has more power is a good person. We should all have the same power in this day and age.
Experts reckon there are bigger social problems that may be contributing to young people's desire for what some see as a more simple life. Gen Z are less likely to own homes than their parents were at their age, and are facing a growing gap between the rich and the poor. Josh reckons a lack of understanding and direction of how young men should act in a modern society also plays a huge role.
I think there's resentment in that of young men feeling incredibly purposeless and also kind of worthless in our society. They're kind of going, well, I don't really know if women are doing all the things that I thought was my job, like what's my job to do? When we invited in the feminist movement, which as we've talked about, powerful social movement to bring about more choice for women, we didn't really invite young men into their role to play in it powerfully. This is back to the whole traditional gender roles thing. That may have worked back in the day when you had to fight wars and that's all men were doing, and like you better not cry on the battlefield because like you actually need to hold it together, but like we're not in that context right now.
Josh says it's a problem that needs to be recognised and addressed by all levels of society.
I think, you know, two parts of solving a problem. First one is awareness, and then the second part is the actual problem-solving bit together. We talk a lot at the Man Cave about the importance of village. We just need to be able to have conversations, and safe conversations. And a safe conversation is with someone where I can trust that I can talk this idea out and not experience being judged or not experience being shamed. If you are an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, who's the younger people in your world who you can start investing into, you know? If you're a 25-year-old, who's the 18-year-old? If you're a 50-year-old, who's the 30-year-old? Like, just that role modeling that we've really, really missed now.
I think trying to do it yourself can influence other people, and so if you can do that, then other people can get along with it.
The people that are older should be saying the right things about like feminism and like being positive about that.
I think we need to change how we speak on social media. I think we need to reassure each other more.
I feel like we have to be educated on how to engage and get influenced by social media, as it is very like manipulative of your ideas at a young age.
Thinking about what we're saying around our kids, those type of beliefs.
Just like little things that influence even just like little kids that can really have an impact on who they are and who they become and what they believe in their life. Yeah, it's just little things.